All right, you there, Chris?
Yeah, I'm here.
All
there
right.
we go.
All right. Modern technology.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There we go.
There's someone to verify my past life.
Oh, my goodness. Did he get into the pussy?
Well, she's not afraid to tell you, believe me.
I know. I got that vibe.
I've had a lot of good times with her and Carl, which is her husband, and believe me, we've had a laugh riot.
Oh, I can tell. Jeez.
So,
smokes.
So there you are.
There we go.
All right. Well, getting back to our last interview with Mark.
Yeah.
So what were you telling me? Your Facebook and all that's blowing up on you?
Yeah. Well, I got quite a few responses. I literally have a line of people on my Facebook, and I was reading you some of them, and I'll put them all together for next week.
Sure.
Because I got a feeling there's going to be a lot.
Right.
But, like I said to you during the week, you know what? Fuck it. We don't need these wars anymore.
Nah, not at all.
And people are going to be mad, and that's okay. That's the joy of doing this ourselves and not really giving a fuck what anybody says.
Sure. Absolutely.
So, and I'll give Mark credit. No, we don't come out of this thing loving each other. I don't think you do. I know I don't. But I do respect the fact that he came on.
Well, I told him that from the jump when he called the studio, and I told him, I said, hey, I admire your stones for, picking up the phone.
Yeah, because that's a balls move with us.
That was a balls move, exactly.
And it could have easily gone the other way, as it might have in the past, where I'd have lied to him for a week, telling him, yeah, we won't say anything, and then just fucking dive bomb him.
Right. Why I told him, I said, we're going to bring you on. We're going to have a discussion. We'll shoot the shit a little bit. We're not going to sandbag you.
Yeah.
I said, we're not going to gang up on you. So it's all cool. So,
yeah.
And it was.
But in the past, that wouldn't have mattered. Then I would have come on and just been a dick.
Like you were to my mom.
Yeah, like it was to your mom. Like I followed that conversation up with.
Right. Exactly. Well, she thinks I'm a nutty guy anyway, so listen to that hard rock and that heavy metal headbanging stuff.
Sure.
So it's kind of funny. All right, well, our buddy Tommy Krash, is he calling us?
We're calling him. Call him at that. Well, I'll look it up real quick.
Because I don't have a number in your little reminder on the Google.
Yeah, we're calling him. Where are we at here? Let's see. Where's your number, Tommy Krash? Well, you could probably just call that number that he called. Oh, here it is. Never mind. I think it's the same number that he's been leaving voicemails from.
Well, if that's the number, I can look at it.
I'm not sure. I'm obviously not looking at it, but paste, go. There it is.
Okay. Let me see here if that's the same one. Yep, that's the same one.
All right.
So I will call him right now as we speak live on the air.
All right.
We'll get Tommy on the phone here because this guy's a nut.
Yeah, he's a character.
All right, here it's rang it up.
Hi, this is Tim James.
Well, Tim, it's good to hear from you all the way from Australia. What's going on, Tommy?
Hey, this is Tim James. Can you hear me good now? I've been down at the Outback Steakhouse, and I've been trying to fuck a kangaroo today.
Oh, have you been drinking some Foster's beer?
Oh, no, I don't drink Foster's. I'd like to have a black fella fuck me in the butt before I get some Foster's. Down here in Australia, we don't call them Negroes. We just like to fuck.
Nice.
What's up, Neely? What's up, Chris?
Hey, Tommy, I've been, Chris and I have been laughing all week and talking about getting you on the show. And apparently you spoke with Chris last night for a while. And our fans are just texting and messaging and tweeting and about you and your show and your voicemails you've been leaving us, etc. All I've heard about is that guy's a nut.
Yeah, well, text, like I said before, dude, fucking texting and email, that's gay, you know? It really is. Like, fucking Chris spends all week working on fucking websites that ultimately nobody really gives a shit about.
Well, it pays his bills.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking fool's gold, and that's good stuff, man.
I agree, Tommy. Well, Tommy, I gotta hand it to you, man. Did you hear this segment that Chris and I did with your Filth Radio show? Yeah, no, I was really surprised, man. I did like a few episodes of that, and it's kind of like, if you talk to Don Dawkins, and he's like, man, I'm not going to write a song unless I'm inspired, you know? It's right.
Like you just can't pump out a song. It's like any kind of silly art form. It's like, man, if I'm not into it, get any feedback, it's like, okay. But I did another one, because you guys did that, and I was like, oh, all right, this stuff's kind of cool. Some fucking weirdos like it. And I did one, I don't know if you heard it, about cars and like stuff that guys do in cars.
I haven't heard it yet, but I will tell you, Tommy, that since we did the show last week with the segment, covering your the evolution of women, I've gotten emails, texts, tweets, any kind of social media. I'm crying over here. This guy is killing me. So,
well, I mean, I know it's silly and it's all fun and games, but you think about the evolution of a cunt boss, and it's really bullshit. And America's such a new country; we haven't been around that long. And Europe's been around forever, and they've fucking run out all kind of weirdos. But these cunts, what are you going to do?
Right. Well, I've said this before. I said it on the show. I admire your ability for your stream of consciousness thought. I mean, I really count that as a talent. Not everybody can do that. Chris and I have been doing the Classic Metal Show for almost 20 years now, and we both hate doing solo shows, but you knock out a solo show. Granted, it's only 20 minutes. But even in the 20 minutes, it's nonstop talk without a breath, without a break to think about something. You just ramble for 20 minutes nonstop, and it's like you're sitting there watching a movie in your head or something. And that, to me, is just an amazing skill.
Yeah, well, it is rambling and it's utter nonsense. But if I'm sitting there, I do kind of go into a zone where I think about a pink asshole that looks like chewing gum. Like, you ever see an asshole online? And it kind of looks like bubble gum.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to say no on that one.
Well, you fucking... I like to think about Michelle Obama, man. That fucking pink asshole, man. That fucking part of the White House, like I said, with no air conditioning. Fucking A. Like, Obama's out there. He's not doing shit, dude. He's fucking fundraising for no reason. And he doesn't even care about white pussy because he can have it. But, yeah, what are you going to do?
Well, what I find funny, though, is that you said that, Chris would take that Michelle Obama from behind in the quarters where there's no air conditioning, like it's like the slave chambers or something.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, because if you know anything about the White House, it's actually really small, and it was built a long time ago. And they've had to do all kinds of upgrades, like, Obama's probably put a fucking kind of wrap place in it for Jay-Z to come, but they don't care about the health. They're not upgrading that. But Barack, where's my chicken? And it's these fucking poor guys are working their ass off in the kitchen. They still got black guys in the kitchen. You think Obama's progressive and liberal? They still got black fellas, like descendants from Thomas Jefferson's herpes. I'm serious, man. It's no joke. Listen to right now. If you, like I said, if you have an interview like that cunt Dora Pesh that's going to tune people out, switch on Art Bell right now on Somewhere Back in Time. You'll learn something.
Wow. So you don't think they just keep the black fellas in the kitchen in the White House as a cuckold?
well, how do you do, Mr. Barack? You need me to take care of some business? Because it's been getting fucking hot in here all day, Barack.
Now what is that dialect you do there, Tommy? I'm not following that dialect. Where does that come from?
It's like a deep southern Louisiana, like when you were in New Orleans. And,
right.
You were sightseeing and other people were fucking while you were sightseeing. That's the kind of language they're talking.
You really do listen to the show, don't you?
Yeah, I have a lot of drive time, and I like the show. I like hearing about stuff, but it's just hard to listen to it live on a Saturday night because it's fucking long. And then I heard that cunt Dora Pesh on, and I was like, fucking Christ. But I love Johnny D. He's a killer drummer, but I can't hear about her fucking work ethic, and it's like, it's just rock and roll. It ain't fucking rocket science. And at the end of the day, Dora Pesh music kind of sucks balls. So, it's not that great.
It's not any Britny Fox, that's for
first,
sure, right?
The fucking first Dawkins record's awesome, man. Really good and honest.
You like Breaking the Chains a lot?
Yeah, that's really good. Really, it's super good. And I downloaded a version that someone mastered of it. They remastered it. It was like a bootleg remastered, but god damn, it sounds fucking. It's awesome. Great record.
Interesting.
You know what he likes, Neely? Solitary.
Yeah, well, I like that too. I play that a lot.
Like what? Oh, Don's second solo record?
Yeah, his solo record, Solitary.
Oh, that's fucking... I mean, it's ridiculous. It's so good. It's as ridiculous as nearly not fucking a black woman with supposed AIDS or Ebola, Let me hear you pull out an Ebola statistic, Right?
Did you listen to the intro of the show tonight?
No, I didn't get a chance to. I was coming back from some kind of zombie walk thing with my family.
I took your phone call and edited it down just to that fact.
The fact about
the black? Yeah, exactly.
They don't have any problems, They're all, like I said, they're all in the 7-Eleven just trying to get like some kind of a hot dog or steal something, and they don't have any problems. Like I said, Chris, if you were in there in 7-Eleven one day and Michelle was in there doing some fundraising, she spread that asshole, and you're like, man, I've been fucking working on a useless website for Dora Pesh all day, and she says, come on, Chris, you want to fuck this ass? I mean, you hit it, right? You're not gay.
Hey, I've said all along, I'd fucking hit Rosie O'Donnell just for the story. I don't care.
Well, like I said, too, with that, she bends over and all pussies look, generally, they all look good from behind.
It just has extra packing around it.
Well, yeah, I guess if she has cunt hair, she's good from behind.
Right.
But, yeah, so back to Doc, and I love that second solo record, just fucking brilliant.
Yep.
It's like, it's new age, and it's, I don't know, if you guys like new age, it's fucking really good. But if you don't, then, it's fucking good.
Yeah. Well, I listen to it all the time, Tommy, and I agree with you. It's a good record. But anyway, getting back to you and your foray into the broadcasting thing. I mean, granted, you're doing some podcasts on Spreaker, which, is our favorite outlet, only because whoever developed that really put some thought behind it, because Chris puts a lot of sweat equity into the show by breaking up the show every week and putting it out on the podcast. And with one click of the button, he can add it to all of our forums, be it iHeartRadio or YouTube or iTunes or, whatever. And it's just amazing. And, did you discover the Spreaker through the CMS, or is that something you were dealing with before, or what?
Oh, no, the Spreaker is 100% through you guys, because I looked at iTunes to get the message out, and it seems like it's fucking hassle with iTunes. Like that guy just died. He didn't die of AIDS, but the other guy who was in Apple, he was with Nolan Bushnell and Atari. He developed a Breakout.
Right.
Yeah, and
Paul Allen.
Fucking Apple. What's that?
Isn't that Paul Allen, or is that Microsoft? I don't know.
No, Paul Allen's the guy with the gay sex stories and socks. It's I can't remember his name. He's the other guy. He was the engineer for Apple, and anyway, they wanted Nolan Bushnell to invest in Apple in the early days, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't think so." And now you can read that story on Google and shit, but he's kicking his ass. But no, Spreaker's easy. Like I haven't really discovered how to market my nonsense yet. But Spreaker's
Have you tried
good.
the churches?
What's that?
Have you tried churches?
Oh, like black churches? Nah. I don't fucking like church, man. I got some people that live on my street that go to church. This one lady works over at Disney, but she fucking spreads that ass, and I'd say she's probably close to 50. I'm guaranteed she's got cunt hair in her brown asshole. You know what I mean?
You got a lot of time on your hands there, Tommy.
Oh, dude, I don't have any time. Trust me. It just all comes from the fucking Anunnaki. You know about those guys too, right?
The aliens?
Yeah, they came here in the Middle East to mine our planet, to rape our planet, and we are half DNA with the Anunnaki. They created us as a slave race so they wouldn't have to fucking do hard labor. And then when they got their shit, they left from the Anunnaki here, and the Anunnaki started fucking white women, and I think the main Anunnaki is a black fella, and it perfected him over in Nevada, in Area 51. And the cool thing about a black guy is that he never comes.
What? How do you come up with that?
Oh, it's a fact. Don't you listen to Coast to Coast AM?
Somehow I missed the black guys coming segment.
Yeah, dude, they fucking never come. They got these huge cocks, and they fuck white women forever. And so it's a thing where they don't even care about fucking. They go to 7-Eleven and they buy those little cigars and they fucking loot outside. And they're like, yeah, fucking white women, no big deal, because they never come. So they're put on our planet just to stir things up. And stir them up they do, right?
Well, that's quite a different perspective, Tommy. I don't think I've learned that. I'm a big History Channel buff and all that, but I don't think I've ever come across that.
Well, it's that liberal media. They don't like to put that shit out there, but
apparently not.
That's what's going on. Neil, you got 7-Elevens up in Chicago?
We do.
Okay. Well, on your lunch break, when you got your fucking shirt tucked in and your nice belt and your fucking shoes, go to 7-Eleven and try to buy like a Slurpee or an empanada and see if there's any, fucking Obamas walking around. What they're up to.
Okay.
I'm serious, dude. What do you do for your lunch break? You're a nice guy, so you talk to the women in the office, but
You're killing me here, Tommy. Oh my!
Dude, you're really fucking nice, and these fucking women, man. But I hope that when you're in your office, because I don't really know what you do, but from what I've heard, you have some sort of a corporate gig, and I hope after hearing that silly podcast I did that you're like a fucking 3 o'clock, you're going to piss or something in your office, and you see a fucking receptionist, she's chewing her gum and she's fucking texting, and you fucking go back to woman boss, man. There's always one,
right?
Always fucking liberal woman boss, and you're like, dude, it's got to be impossible to take orders from a woman boss after hearing that web episode, The Truth. I told you guys.
Sure. Well, I've shared your episode with numerous people, men and women alike, and I got a comment from a female colleague of mine, and she basically referred to you as someone who likes to take a dildo up the ass, and you probably never had pussy in your life.
Oh,
what a fucking cunt! Yeah. I just tell her sorry. We played, so we fucking played it out. It's all done. We're Walt Disney. He's sorry. Fucking dildo on my ass. Yeah, all right, bitch. Where's your fucking business card?
But the strange thing about it is she says, I got to hear more of this guy.
Sure she does. Get her fucking pink eye, you know? But, yeah, just tell her she knows. She knows what's right. And that's just a natural instinct. I understand. But
right.
It's done. And this is the way things are going. We're moving forward. We're getting tired of 8 years of Barack Obama and these fake liberals that the Anunnaki put on the planet. So we're stopping. That's where it stops. That's where it ends, you know?
Well, what's going to happen in this midterm election there, Tommy? What's your thoughts on that, since you seem to be politically active or have some thoughts on it anyway?
Well, I tell you, I watch Fox, and here's the insane thing is that I watch Fox all the time, and I can get free pussy on the internet constantly, but I'm always watching Fox to wait for an upskirt shot. Always. It's fucking brilliant, the guy who runs Fox. So it doesn't matter about any kind of elections, but you're always waiting for a pussy shot on Fox. Always. Right, Chris?
Well, who's the hottest one on Fox? Who do you like on Fox the most?
Oh, I like fucking Megyn Kelly because she's a cunt.
Are you glad she grew her hair back out instead of having that?
No, I hate it. But when she was interviewing that one mean terrorist guy or something a couple months ago, I didn't know who he was, and she slicked her hair back. Like, she fucking meant business. And that's the thing I'm talking about. It's like, all right, yeah, okay, whatever, it's all good. I'm going to put a cock in your mouth and shut you up. At the end of the day, we're done. But, yeah, that chick, she's crazy. She sits there and they do that split screen, and she has that smirk on her face. And you just want to see, like, a fucking cuckold walk in, like a grip, like a fucking cuckold coming in from the Fox studios and say, so now how do you do, Miss Megyn? Here's your coffee. She's fucking retarded, but I guess she's kind of hot. Who do you guys like?
I like Martha McCallum myself.
Who?
Martha McCallum.
How can anybody be hot with a name like Martha?
I don't know her.
She's on the morning, and I did like the gal. She left that morning show. She was like Miss America at one point. I can't remember what her name is though.
Yeah, they all got ass cherries, but they're pretty smart. They have ass cherries and legal degrees. It's crazy where they find them.
Yeah, it is.
You know? But yeah, fucking Megyn Kelly. And the way she spells her name, it's like M-E, or it's like M-E-G-O-B-G-Y-N. She's a fucking gynecologist.
She's a box doctor.
Cunt.
Yeah, she's a box doctor.
Yeah,
because
she sits there and she looks with her smirk, and she always wears these little skirts, and they got her elevated. If you look at the pull-away shots where they get a commercial on this fucking crazy like stage, and it's like, man, I want to see that asshole spread. Like, maybe I'll go on Fox someday because you guys are putting out my garbage online. Maybe I'll go on there and say, what are you looking for?
And under that desk has to have a good aroma, because isn't Megyn Kelly on after 1 o'clock?
Oh, that bitch is, I think she's on late at night, but honestly, guys, I think she's scentless. I think she's fucking a robot. I think she's one of Walt Disney's animatronics with a cunt hole. You know, because you figure by now Walt Disney created his animatronics for the World's Fair in, 65 or something. They got him perfected, but she's fucking nutty.
I think that's the name. I think that's the name of the.
They made her without an asshole.
I think this is the name of the segment on the Spreaker there, Tommy. Megyn Kelly is an animatronic creation with a cunt hole.
That's a little long.
They put a fucking slab of roast beef from the dollar store in her twat area and call it a day.
So let me ask you, from a psychological standpoint, Tommy, what is your fixation with more or less derogatory sexual comments toward women? Are you dislike women? You don't like them, or you find them displeasurable, or you just think that they should be in the kitchen and barefoot and pregnant, or what's the deal?
I just find a comedy in it. It's like I love pussy, and I love it's like a black fella. I'm not racist at all, but I think they're I mean, they're kind of funny. You know? I mean, I like a few things. I like Pussy. I love Britny Fox, all her records except for Springhead Motor Shark.
Right.
I love classic arcade games. I love fast food. And, I don't know, but you just, sometimes I look at a girl. I can put on the podcast the other day, and I'm in my van, and I look down at her, and she's in her car, a little cheap car, and it's all rotted out. And I'm like, man, does her pussy stink in there? And does she know it stinks ever?
So
you know what I mean? Because like I said, in the podcast, in a car, you can do drugs. You can drink vodka straight. You can throw up in a cup. You could piss in a cup. You can listen to metal. You can fucking listen to Don Dokken or post something on our message board. A man can do anything in his car. He can order fast food and get it all over the car. But does a woman really do anything in her car that's cool? I could live in my car. I got bugs in my car, you know?
Yeah, chicks and mechanical, devices just don't mix.
Yeah, I don't know if they take full advantage of a car. Like George Washington, he had his fucking buggies, and he spread his herpes seed all over, you know?
Herpes seed, okay. Oh, my God.
Then he fucking pounded Thomas Jefferson's maids. They still got the same fucking maid kitchen in the White House as they did when TJ was alive.
Right. I like the fact that you refer to him as TJ.
Yeah, well, fucking Barack wants some old school TV dinners. He says, "Hey, Michelle, you give me a TV dinner." "Yes, sir, huh?" And fucking Chris was back in the White House kitchen trying to get some pussy. And they're like, "There's something wrong with the kitchen. There's some fucking white metalhead in there trying to get pussy. We can't eat tonight."
So you're keeping Obama from getting his TV dinner, Chris.
Damn it. Sorry, Barack.
Wow. Well, Tommy, do you have plans on expanding your show at all? Are you going to do more? Because I realize some of your episodes date way back to like May, and you really haven't done anything through the summer. So, are you planning on doing a more frequent podcast, or has that crossed your mind, or is that something you want to pursue, or do you have time for it, or what's the deal?
Well, like I said, it's I did 3, and I'm like, all right, the whole thing is tough, and even being a musician forever and being in a band, it's like, all right, you write the songs, you fucking record them, you make the cassettes or whatever you used to, and it's like, on top of all that, you got to fucking market it too. It's like it just becomes daunting at the end of the day. So I think I'll do a podcast, and it's like, oh, all right, what do you do with it? So, like I said, if I'm in a van and I see a Latino girl that's down on her luck, eating some Arby's or something, like, I'm like, all right, I need to record that and go do a podcast.
Okay.
But it's like, Neil, I know you love Dokken. It's like if Don's just not in the mood to write a traditional Dokken record, it's like, well, he's got John to like push him now. And it's like you and Chris have each other to do your radio show, and it's like it forces you to do it every week. But when it's just me, it's like, if I do it, I do it. If I don't, but since people like it, I know they like hearing I haven't touched on and I love this term, like Latino, but you put an A on it, and that means the woman version Latina. And there's a lot to be said in Orlando about Latinas because it's fucking hot, man. And they got attitudes. They go to 7-Eleven constantly. And they're fucking pain in the ass, man. Like I said, they fucking walk around 7-Eleven with their food stamps like they're in a fucking rap video. And they buy a bunch of junk. Right? I'm sure you got Latinas up in Chicago and Ohio. God knows they got Indians and all kinds of crazy people there.
Right.
Yeah,
anything but white.
Well, I don't really know about Chicago too much. When I played there a few years ago, boy, it was not a place for rock and roll.
Right.
Despite all the rock and roll that's come out of there.
Exactly.
But, yeah, it's very odd, but Ohio's got a lot of mixed breeds and stuff. I like that term, too. I haven't touched on them yet.
Mixed breeds?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, Chris?
Yeah. Like
They
mulatto
got
types.
those extra bones in their feet and stuff, and they play all kinds of sports now, and they're fucking all over the radio.
Holy shit. So they got the extra bones in their feet. That's how you distinguish them now?
Well, dude, look at fucking put on like what's the top charts on the radio, man? I mean, it's mixed breed heaven, and that's like a Rihanna or a Bruno Mars. It's odd because the same mixed breed species works in warehouses, but they're also on the top of the charts, and I can't quite put my finger on it. And I think 7-Eleven has the key to everything, but I haven't figured it out yet.
Wow. Well, Tommy, you definitely have the gift of observation and a way of expressing that. That's for sure. So I just wanted to let you know, having you on the show that our fans definitely appreciated, the few episodes of Filth Radio that you've put out there so far. So what's with the name? Where did you come up with Bob Leather?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Well, I used to work as a salesman in a printing company, and most of the time in sales, I played my arcade games at home, and I jerked my cock. I just did utter nonsense. I falsified sales reports constantly, and I recorded a lot of music on the clock. But I had this big account as a real estate company, and there's this fucking guy in New Jersey, and he's a real guy. Maybe he's down on his luck, or maybe he's fucking, maybe he's a district manager somewhere with that black bitch, fucking KFC or whatever. But I was fucking in there looking at some of the work that they were printing, and I was like, this fucking guy's name, he was a real estate agent, his name was fucking Bob Leather. Okay. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm like, that's just the stupidest name I ever heard, but it's cool. I'm like, that sounds like some kind of rape artist, just a rapist. And this guy's, that's his real name. It's like, if I was called Bob Leather, I would change my name if I was in sales, wouldn't you?
Right.
Like, and I've looked it up, and there's some kind of company now called Bob Leather. But anyway, I don't know. I got a lot of stuff musically. I do the Tommy Krash. I do Bob Leather, all kinds of stuff. But I guess with the Filth Radio Show, that's the outlet. I don't know if you heard any of the original Filth songs that I've recorded.
Well, I heard the one that you ended the show with.
What's that?
I heard the one you ended the show with.
Yeah, that's an original Filth song where I play all the guitars and sing and stuff in it. I think that's called College Girls. College girls like to fuck. College girls spread their ass.
Right.
She came from Arkansas. Didn't know how to fuck. Pink panties around her knees. God, I think I'm a priest.
Okay.
All right.
But the crazy thing is that you're doing this interview or conversation that has nothing to do with music, which I've been trying to do since I was 14. And it's just, you guys obviously like to talk about kook holes and cunt holes.
Only since you brought
you
it
don't
up.
give a shit anything about my music, which I'm like, hey, whatever. Big panties round her knees. God, I think I'm a priest. College girls like to fuck. You know what I'm saying? I guess that song's not taking off.
I haven't heard it next to the Biebers and the Rihannas yet.
Yeah, well, those fucking mixed breeds are taking over the country, man.
The mixed breeds. I love it. Well,
I don't, but I'm glad you do. I'm telling you, Neely, take a lunch break to 7-Eleven in Chicago and see what you end up with.
All right, I'll do that.
Fuck a black chick, for God's sakes.
What? Black chick? There's no color anymore. They're mixed. It's very odd.
It's something that Lemmy said years ago. Everybody fucking everybody else, we become coffee-ish.
Yeah, right. And it's very strange. And somewhere as you go in the country, they don't even speak a lick of English. And they don't speak Spanish, and they don't speak Negro, but somehow they communicate.
Wait a minute, what was that third one?
They don't speak Negro?
No. Like, if I went up to one of the coffee-looking guys and I said, "Yes, so how do you do there? I like a cheeseburger today," they wouldn't know what I was talking about, you know?
I don't think I've heard anybody utter "howdy do" there since a Shirley Temple movie.
Little rascals.
Howdy do.
Well, you know why? It's because you won't fuck a black chick and you won't go in the White House kitchen where Chris can hear that.
Right.
I hear it all
Like,
the time.
if you're in the kitchen, Michelle's strolling up there with her high heels and her fucking asshole, each ass cheek rubbing against each other, and she's trying to get some, I don't know, fucking fresh watermelon from the rose garden out of there. And Chris is already back there eating and having a milkshake. He hears it. Right.
So since the Obamas moved into the White House, they're growing watermelons in the rose garden?
Oh, you didn't know that?
I'm just asking.
Have they replaced all the champagne with gin?
Well, I got to give me some orange soda, Michelle, because I got to sign this Bill of Rights.
How about some shampipple?
How about what?
How about some shampipple?
Holy shit.
Oh, you know what? They got to feel at home.
You know,
too.
champagne and
good.
Ripple.
You got to feel at home, and they. You know, the biggest thing is that she doesn't just let her hair out. She's got to straighten it every day. It's like, you know, just be yourself. It's all right. We don't care. You're not a real president anyway. It's the secret society that's running the country. We know that. And like George Norrie always says, I think he's America's grandfather. I don't know if you know him, Neely, but I think he fucking eats Greek food in L.A. when he broadcasts from there, and he fucks with his cock, and he's got a toupee.
Nice.
What?
Tommy, you're off the hook.
Well, you know George Norrie, right?
Yeah.
Or is Chris just into that shit?
Chris hates George Norrie, and I don't listen to him. I only listen to the Art Bell years.
Ian Punnett, baby.
Art Bell's a fucking weirdo, though. You got to admit, if you look back on it like you look back on history, fucking weirdo, dude.
You were a big
I
fan
like
of
the
Ian
Art
Punnett,
Bell
right?
years, and it's good to say, oh, yeah, Art's better than Georgie Boy, but you ever hear that song that George sang, guys? The Elvis song?
Yeah, I have.
Dude, you got to play that on your show later. That's fucking awesome.
All right, Tommy. Well, we're gonna speak to a former Ace Frehley manager here in about a half an hour. Gordon Gebhardt. Do you know who he is or ever heard of him?
No, I'm not real impressed with Ace's new solo effort, though. I'll fucking tell you that.
Well, it's better than that Anomaly.
Yeah, I think Ace is just. I think he's overblown, man. I don't. Yeah, I mean that fucking album's ridiculous. His new one, I think he says something to his wife in the beginning of one of the songs, or something. It's like, Jesus fuck.
Well, if
she wants.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised that Ace is overblown. He does have John Ostronomy working for him.
Hey, that's our friend.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess he's still out there playing, and he's got a good guitar tone, but I don't really dig. You know, if I dug his stuff, like I saw it at Best Buy, and I had my hand on it, I just couldn't buy it with my Best Buy credit card.
Does Best Buy even sell CDs anymore?
Yeah, they have brand new CDs and stuff, and I had my hand on it, but I heard it, you know, on Spotify. I'm like, fuck, it's not good. It's like I love to buy a new CD here and there when I can, but it's just fucking not good, you know?
Right.
So I don't know. This guy, he's not a manager anymore. I don't know what light will he shed on Ace? Yeah, he's a fuck up. And he's resentful against Gene and Paul. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So I hope that people don't listen to old Art Bell shows when you're interviewing that guy.
Right.
Or maybe they are right now when I'm talking about this shit in the
Right.
fucking White House and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Barack, you give me some fucking pork rinds.
Pork rinds?
Yeah. Now, Michelle, I think that they're all out. I have to go down to 7-Eleven with my Secret Service, and we get some.
Nice.
All right, Barack, I love you. That's how they actually talk when they're in the White House.
I think that I don't think Mel Blanc has anything on you with the impressions.
Who's Mel Blanc?
He was the guy who did all the voices for all the Warner Brothers cartoons.
Oh, yeah. I don't really like doing impressions, but I've been in the White House in that part of the Hell's Kitchen. I hear what goes on there.
Right.
You know, everybody knows. Right, Chris?
That's right.
Fucking put some ham around your cock in the White House and wait for Michelle to come. You ready for me, Chris? You want to fuck this pink asshole?
Nice. All right, Tommy, you got anything to plug aside from
nothing.
Michelle's asshole?
No, well, I don't think she has AIDS was your problem, right, Neely?
Well, it wasn't a problem; it was a concern.
So stupid. Concern. You're in Chicago, dude. You're ruling out about 75% of cunt holes if you got that. That's fucking retarded. No, I got nothing to plug. I mean, everyone can find this garbage if they want to. And tell them to go listen to Britny Fox's third record, the one with Tommy Paris. That's fucking awesome.
I opened the show with that tonight.
Fight down hard.
Which song?
I played. I played. Let's see here. What the hell? No, I played the live Tommy Paris on Long Way Live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that album's not even live at all, but it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good record. I love it, and I know Tommy pretty well. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he's awesome. That was fun sleeping in the bedroom with him for a few months in a row.
Nice.
But
all right, Tommy.
So go look up Michelle on YouTube, and she's got some of her stuff about Barack and pork rinds and fucking cheap burger joints in Chicago. She sneaks out too, and
right.
Chris is in there too.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Tommy. Well, we'll plug the the Filth Radio podcast and try to get you some traffic over that way.
Yeah, that's cool, and I'll hit you up, Chris, to see if there's any way I can parlay that into some money so I can get shit at 7-Eleven for free, like all the mixed breeds do.
All right. Perfect.
All right, Tommy, we're going to get out.
All right, guys.
All right, man.
Peace.
Thanks.
All right.
See you.
Later.
There he goes.
Tommy. Jesus Christ.
Too funny.